last time newspaper ads is just words, ma.
Oh yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
that's
they
correct.
just say that house for sale, SS2, and then the land size, and then the phone number. That's it. It's a very small icon on newspaper, no
Correct.
photo.
Smaller than the name card,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And then they'll
Correct.
charge you 40 or 50
Yeah,
ringgit
something
for
like that lah.
service.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Connecting the Dots, where we unravel the complexities of real estate in Malaysia. My name is Joanne and together with me is Jonathan.
Hi everyone,
Yes.
it's our podcast again today.
Yes, and today we'll be talking about how to market your property so that your property gets sold in less than 6 months' time.
Wow, this is a very important topic for all the sellers
Yes.
or even all the real estate agent, that how do you sell the property in 6 months' time?
That's right.
So what is it all about?
Yeah, I think today we'll just talk about, basically marketing real estate, marketing properties in Malaysia. And maybe we go back to the basics. What does really marketing means, in your
Right.
opinion?
Now, marketing, in my opinion, is to when you have a properties and you want the whole world knows about your property and you're trying to find a buyers.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not too sure how do you start before,
Yeah, I think marketing a property, right? Meaning like what you just said, expose your property to the highest level, get the most eyeballs to see your property so that we are able to get that one right buyer who will
That's correct.
offer the best price to the seller, and then we close the deal. So that is really marketing. And I think traditionally marketing property, I think long time ago in the 90s, 80s, right? It's pretty easy. I think it's very straightforward. Even though I wasn't doing real estate at that time, but I heard the senior agents was telling me that the way they market property is very simple. Today they got a listing. Today the seller tell them, hey, I want to sell my property here in SS2, for example. Then they'll be like, okay, no problem. First of all, they will just call their past clients first, right? They will just say, hey, I got a new SS2 house. Are you interested? How much and whatnot. And if they already did that, but there's no buyer yet, then what they do is maybe they will just hang a banner.
Okay.
Yeah, then they hang the banner, they put their numbers there, their agency name, and then they just wait. They wait for someone to see the banner, and then they will call them. And then that's it. I think that is how real estate was marketed. Homes are being sold many years ago, 10, 20 years ago.
Right.
Then after that, eventually, I guess the famous property portals all came into play, right? iProperty, Property Guru, HProp, all these big players came in. And also similarly, the agents will take some pictures, photos, post it in the portals, and then they wait. They will wait for the buyer to search, and then they saw the ads, then they will click and call the agent, arrange a viewing, and then basically that is really marketing all about.
Correct. I remember when I joined this industry that time, I saw some of our colleagues, they are very focused on newspaper.
Yeah,
When I joined
that's
in
right.
2014 that time. But I believe that way before 2014, I think their source of marketing the property and let the whole world know is newspaper. Because way before 2014, everyone read newspaper.
Correct.
Right? Then, of course, from this era, slowly transit to a website. That's where iProperty and Property Guru, I think, is a great platform. I think iProperty and Property Guru, they group everything together.
Correct.
So it's very easy for buyer to find property
Yeah.
online. And because of that, right, a lot of real estate agent will leverage on this platform, and it will help the seller to sell the property more
Correct.
effectively.
Correct.
But that is between 2014 to 2018, something like this. But what do you think about the marketing today? Do you still think that we are marketing the same way or slightly a little bit different?
Yeah, I think right now everyone is on social media. I want to touch a little bit on social media is because it's not that social media has replaced the traditional way of marketing, which is posting on portals. I don't think it's a substitution yet. That means we cannot choose one or the other. And social media right now is becoming more popular, and it's very essential for us to help our sellers to sell the property in social media, is because I think we need to find buyer where buyers spend the most time in. Like, which platform do we find buyers in and get the most eyeballs? And I think all of us, no matter we are a teenager, a young adult, a senior, they're all on their phone.
Yep.
You know, whether they're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Xiaohongshu, and all these, they're constantly on the phone. Or WhatsApp. You know, WhatsApp is also a form of marketing when we talk about WhatsApp blasting, right? So I think we need to identify how does the people around us, the behavior and the time they spend is where. Is it outdoor, on the streets, in the mall, or on the phone, or on the website, or internet and things like that. So I think right now we have to be more savvy because more savvy in terms of like we have to really get ourselves educated on what is the latest trend in the market
Right.
and where can we find people lah. Yeah, where can we find eyeballs? So apart from property portals, I think that, you know, we all should also tap into the digital space.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Now, I also want to add on a little bit, like before iProperty and Property Guru, the ads are everywhere.
Yeah.
It's only a newspaper and then it's black and white
Yes.
kind of thing. If you want to add a color, you need to add 20 or 30 ringgit.
Something like that.
Just to upgrade the newspaper.
And also
be
to add a
colour.
photo.
Add
Yeah, last time newspaper ads is just words, ma.
Oh yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
that's
they
correct.
just say that house for sale, SS2, and then the land size, and then the phone number. That's it. It's a very small icon on newspaper, no
Correct.
photo.
Smaller than the name card,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And then they'll
Correct.
charge you 40 or 50
Yeah,
ringgit
something
for
like that
service.
lah.
Now, what I want to highlight is that's how property are being marketed before. You
Correct.
put a few line and property for sale without picture, that's how you
Yes.
market. Then we move on to iProperty and Property Guru, we only put pictures.
Yes.
And the picture are not professionally taken.
Yeah.
And the picture, sometimes they just take a picture of the table and then they say it's a study room.
Yes, yes.
You know, and then the buyer look at the table, look at the chairs, you know.
Yeah.
You're not capturing the best angle of the
Yeah.
properties.
Yeah.
But I think right now, people who are on social media, they always like to see good stuff, like to see beautiful things. Now, I think what we have changed the way we market is that we slowly take a nicer photo, a best angles, and now we're using 360 as well, because
Yeah,
360
yeah.
will really help the buyer to view the property virtually without being physical at the properties, right? Without being physical at the properties.
Yeah.
So I think all this thing, when we put it on social media, it actually create more value than just advertising on iPro and Property. Again, these two are great platform, but we're talking about how to create more value to seller and sell, right?
Correct.
So sometimes it's not about what are the property that you are selling. The question is, how do you sell it,
Yeah.
right?
And I think for buying or selling a property is really not just selling a cup or selling clothings, where, you know, the amount of the comparison is vast lah. Okay, we are selling properties which worth 100,000 ringgit, you know, millions ringgit, and I think by just posting some photos, I feel, right, we can do more than that lah. I mean, buyers nowadays are so confused when they are on all these property portals platform, right? It's like a Shopee for properties. So when you go Shopee, right, you just see the photos and whatnot. And I feel Shopee is even better than property portals. Why is, at least Shopee got reviews. You know, buyers review, and then you get to read, and then you get to do some research. Then only you click buy, right? But property portals, one thing I realized that they are still stuck on like just posting photos. I think now they allow us to post YouTube videos and also 360 scan. But that's about it. You can't really, and some more they limit our number of words now.
Yeah.
I can't even like describe the full facts of the properties with just, I don't know, 100 over words. I think for buyers, they will feel that, you know, I need more information. You know, all of us are now, simple Googling, right, can give us so much information. But yet, if let's say we just market our properties on property portals, I feel that not only we shortchange the buyer, we also shortchange our sellers. Yeah, and not everyone will go on property portals to look for a property. I feel that nowadays, like what you said, social media is all about posting pretty things, and then they will like, their attention will get caught when they see pretty things on their phone, right? They swipe. And if we are not in that space where people are actually browsing, then I think we're losing out on buyers as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I think based on what you just said, I can break it down into two things when we talk about marketing to the seller. I think a part of portals, a part of portal, I think there are two things that we can really add value. Number one is a social media marketing, where all our audience are there or potential buyers there. I think number two is the content marketing, where that's where the beautiful thing is. I think social media marketing is more on the platform, where do you want to market. But I think the content, how do you sell it, and how do you really bring out the unique selling point of the property is very important. So actually, how do we do this to help the seller to sell?
I think most importantly is like what you said, if content is so powerful, right? Then we have to create a compelling story for our sellers about the properties. So I think we always believe that when we sell a property on social media or whatnot, right? Many times we see a lot of different ads where the agents are the superstar in the content. But for us, I think it's more important that we switch the angle around to say that the property itself, the house that we are selling, should be the superstar. And we as a presenter or the sales agent, right, it's our job to think of what is a unique selling point or unique features of this house that is unique, that is you cannot find a second home like this, which is true. A lot of landed properties are unique in itself. The location, the features, the amenities and everything. We have to tell the audience that, hey, you know, this is a good house. This is a house where you can build your family, your memories, your dreams together. And I think that is how people will be moved. You know, when we buy properties, yes, it also must make investment sense. But a lot of times when we talk about real estate, the emotional factor plays a big part.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I just want to add on one thing is that I think every house is very unique.
Yeah.
And they are different.
Correct.
I think the best way to sell the property is to really understand why the current seller or current owner bought this house 10, 15 years ago.
Correct.
Because you're going to find a similar buyer that behave like the seller, that appreciate the property they will buy. But most times, I've seen I've observed that many Asians sell the property the same way. It's like one size fit all kind of things. But actually, every property is very, very unique. So when during inspections time, when we go for having a consultations with the seller and trying to understand why the seller want to sell, I think the number one thing is to really understand why you want to sell the property, because we want to align with the seller so that we can make the whole selling process more intentional. Number two is that I think this question will really help you to understand why this property is very unique. You just need to ask the seller, okay, before you bought this house, how many houses you have seen? And then they'll tell you they've seen this, you know, they saw a few houses. And then you ask them, so why do you choose this and not the others? And then the answer that's come out from them is the best unique selling point. And that's, as a real estate agent, you should capture that, because the next buyer will appreciate what the current owner say.
Correct,
you know?
correct. Yeah, I think all these things are important, especially information on the house. Story and background is very captivating. But yet, we also need to supplement that with facts and numbers and the trend and things like that, so that the buyers know that they are not only just making a decision based on emotion, because they love it, but also they are very comforted and assured to know that what they bought, right, it's a good deal. Not just a good deal, but it's a right choice, right? So I feel that through all this content that we create, we need to it's also create a peace of mind that buyer is not buying blindly. They fully are aware of all the facts of the house, the background, the story, the current situation and environment that they're buying. Then I feel we find so much fulfillment knowing that the buyer did not make a bad choice. You know, the buyer managed to buy what they want, and they're fully aware of the pros and cons of the house. I think we are in a subsale market, or even if it's a primary market, right, which is new development, every property has its pros and cons one.
That's
right.
correct.
And I think it's our job not to hide the shortcomings or the weaknesses of the property, but to help them to, okay, you know that this is facing a T-junction. So is there a solution to help me to solve this unchanged or not how do I say it? It's we can't change the fact that it's facing a T junction. I cannot remove the T junction away, right? I cannot put a barricade there because it's a road. So then I need to find solution for the buyer to say that, hey, yes, it's facing a T junction, but you know what you can do? You can plant a tree, or you can change the direction of your door, certain facade, that can help you to block out the car light that because it's a T junction. So I feel we have to, it's our job to just be very transparent to our audience, to tell them that the pros and cons, but also suggest alternative and suggestion to counter it.
Yeah, that's a very good feedback about this. It reminds me about one of the clients that we sell in Taman United, right? This seller, Mr. Tan, trying to sell this bungalow house for 2 years. From COVID, trying to sell for 2 years, and the feedback is always your house is below the root level.
Yes, I remember that.
So that's the feedback that other agent give it to him, and then therefore he thought that the house is really really bad and nobody wants, But what happened is that when we inspect the house, we realized that piece of bungalow land is the biggest in Taman United. And although it's below root level, because we understand that you won't get a perfect home. Right? So what we need to do is that we just need to find a buyer who really, really appreciate the big piece of land, about 12,000 square feet. I think through we talk to the seller, we understand the objective, we understand the seller goal that truly want to unlock the value of this property. We take exclusive, we come up with a solution-based marketing.
Correct.
Where we understand that in the whole Malaysia we have 33 million population. I only need one buyer.
Yes.
And I only need one buyer who truly appreciate the size of the land, and through a series of marketing process, we managed to find this buyer and really appreciate that piece of land and purchase. But of course, the price is very, very attractive. And the reason why he bought that piece of land, because he say, I like big piece of land, and he can accept, because the price is very attractive, and he can accept the house is actually below the root level.
And I think all these things, it should actually be told upfront to the audience or to the buyers And how we do that is we like to do home tour. Home tour shoot in the sense that we get our own media team, in-house media team, to go to the property. And before we do that, we do our own research data, and we create like a storyboard. And then we will do a 8 to 10 minutes long kind of video to tell the buyers that the pros and cons of the house, the unique features, and we tell a compelling story. That's basically what our home tour video is all about. I think before that, really we didn't think that it's important. Everyone told us that, people don't have that attention span to finish watching your 10 minutes video. I think nowadays 30 seconds, people finish watching 30 seconds. You should be grateful that your audience are spending 30 seconds of their time to watch your content. But we've just felt that, creating long videos, yes, many people feel that it's too long, but there is still value to it. Maybe you can share to our audience, why do we do long form content?
No, we truly decided to do a long form home tour content is because we are trying to position the property and try to sell more effectively. And we want to highlight every single unique selling point in that video that we talk about, and to present it to the buyers. Now, although it's long form, but when it comes to marketing, seller also asks us this question, your video is so long, how do you gonna market? Now, there are two ways we can market. I think number one, because your house will have about 3 to 5 different unique selling points. And then once the video is out, we'll cut this 3 to 5 different selling points. Maybe some people really appreciate the land size. So one of the unique selling point in that long form video, we'll talk about land size. Some people really appreciate a spacious kitchen. We talk about that. So from the land size, from the kitchen, from the master bedroom, we'll cut it to about 1 minute's video, and then we'll advertise to a targeted audience. So if today we want to focus on people who really appreciate a huge kitchen, we will target the people who really appreciate a huge kitchen. So there will be 3 to 4 different ads to target different audience to really get the attention from the market and sell it more intentionally. But one thing I truly like about social media is because everything that you do is backed up by data. So you run a series of campaigns, right? And end of series, there's a data for you to analyze. And that data will help you to tweak the ads a lot better to sell.
Yeah.
So for a buyer who really interested in this property, okay, he will watch the whole 8 to 10 minutes long form videos, and they will watch a few times before they call you, right? So when they come that time, so the viewing become very genuine, right?
Yeah, I would add on to that is why long form video actually, yes, it's harder to make. It's definitely harder for our video team to create such long form content with graphics and all this. But it is, again, it's all about value adding to our audience, to our people who follow us on YouTube and whatnot. Why I say it's value add is because I think all of us know that everyone's time is very precious. So for example, if today I am just relying on static photos to attract my buyers. I say, hey, you come and view this house in Bangsa. It's really nice, fully renovated. Again, it's all words. I'm describing the house the best that I can through words. And then I just send some photos. Then I just feel that maybe the buyer was expecting like, wow, it's a really pristine, mean condition, no challenges, the road is good and whatnot. Then by the time they came, they go like, huh? This is on the main road. How come you didn't tell me it's on the main road? So I feel that it's not that we didn't tell, but because we were too busy only pointing out the highlights of the house, then we forgot that to mention to the buyer that, oh yeah, it's located in a main road, so traffic could be higher, but it's still good because the roads are wide, so you don't have to be afraid. So all these things, we put it in a long form video is because we also want to save our buyers' time. So if let's say you can spend 10 minutes comfortably in your home, in your car, whatnot, in the traffic jam, commute, in the train, to just watch that 10 minutes video. Then you won't come and, when you make appointment to view the house, you won't ask such question like, main road? You mean behind is shop lot? You mean left side is a pedestrian bridge or something like that? Right. You would already have known all the facts that you ought to know from the video. So when you physically come to view the house, it's really about your feeling, basically we call it the 5 sensory experience, when you view a house physically, then you also won't waste the seller's time. I think a lot of sellers will tell us that, ayo, please don't bring window shoppers to come and view my house. My house is not a shop, not like, you can just come whenever, and I really want to sell and I'm still staying in the house. If you can reduce the hassle, reduce inconvenience. Right. So I feel that when we actually create such long form video, we really have value added to the buyer. At the same time, we also help the seller to filter out and bring buyers who are very genuine, who already know the facts and they just want to come and feel.
Correct. Now I also want to add on to that is that the buyer behavior has changed. Yeah. Right. I think they want more information before they go and see houses.
Correct.
Now, we receive a lot of leads. When we do marketing, we receive a lot of leads. Yep. The buyer will say, can you tell me the house address? I will go and see first. Yes. And then I will decide whether I want to come. Yeah. Right? Because the buyer want to check out the location, this and that, right? So based on all these leads and inquiries and the question that the buyer asks, right? We realize that actually buyers want more information so that they themselves also don't want to waste time. Correct. They want to make the viewing more intentional. They want to make sure that their time and energy is reserved to see the right properties.
That's right.
So I think one of the things that we want to highlight in the long form video is that we will talk about, so one of the things we will always talk about locations. Yeah. Locations and amenities. And part of it, we'll talk about the market performance in that area. Yeah. So when the buyer understand all this data and information, they know that the property they are going to see, where is it located? Yes. And whether it's priced in the market or out of the market. Yeah. And most importantly, they come is because in our long form videos, we always capture the best part of the properties. So it's very difficult for the media team is because they will need to do a lot of B-rolls,
Yeah.
right? The day we just talk about B-rolls, right? They need
Yeah.
to find the angles, the master angle or whatever, just to capture the best part of the properties.
Yeah, I think with home tours, if you watch our YouTube videos, right, amenities, location is important. The other thing, we don't shy away from challenges of the property. We will also provide certain solutions. So, for example, we're looking at also like building costs, renovation costs. We will also try to analyze, okay, if you were to change the whole piping of this house, how much would it cost? If you want to change the roofing, how much would it cost? So all these things and information can be found in the video. So when you actually make a physical visit, right, you already know that, okay, this house is an old house, probably need a lot of renovation. And I love the big plot of land. I love its location. I love the amenities. But I also need to know if I want to buy, right, how much money I need to spend on renovating the house.
Right.
So I think all these can be found in long form content. We don't just make it for the sake of making it long.
Yep.
There is actually certain reason why we want to
Correct.
put a long form video out there.
Correct.
Yeah.
We don't just purposely make it long without
Yeah.
any informations
Yes.
there. I think the whole video is to really help you to understand, and the information is there.
Yeah.
It's to really help you, including the layout analysis.
Yes.
We did we will do the 360 walkthrough scan,
Yeah.
and then it will come out with a layout plan.
Yeah.
We help you to analyze how big is the living hall, how big is the kitchen, master room, second and third bedroom, and where is the maid's room located.
Yeah.
I think all these are important information for
Yeah.
our audience. And it reminds me, our new video just posted, I think 5 days ago,
Yeah.
is Bangsa Park
Yeah.
property at Limau Manis. And this is a fully renovated property,
Yeah.
rebuilt in 2008. I think all this information we highlighted in the videos.
Correct.
And we are trying to sell that one. That one is currently selling at 2.75 million.
Yeah.
And we also talk about if you buy the basic conditions and what is the renovation cost you will incur if you are doing that. So please watch that videos, guys.
Yeah, and I think also what we want to highlight is when we move away, I won't say we move away, we want to supplement the traditional way of marketing with video marketing, because video marketing really creates more value, both buyers and sellers. And when we move away, it doesn't mean that we neglect the traditional marketing. In fact, I feel that certain times the traditional marketing, for example, like we mentioned newspaper, we mentioned about signboards, like hanging banners. We also do flyers. And I think all these things are still as effective is because, right, even though statistics shows that majority of people are in some sort of a social media platform, but there are people who are still like old school, like they want to touch the paper, they prefer opening up the newspaper, they prefer receiving like a promotional ads on their letterbox. So all these things, we are not going to replace that, but we are just going to substitute with the video marketing side. So I think that's the beauty of working in a team where, I believe if today you are appointing just a solo agent to market your house, it's not that the solo agent doesn't want to help you to do their best. It's just that we are all limited by energy, time, and money. But if, let's say, you are appointing a team, then, your effort, we can give you the best effort, and also covers a very comprehensive marketing strategies. We don't just focus on one thing, but we try to give you a full coverage. I call it a full coverage, like insurance, like that. You want to buy the full coverage of agent services, and we are able to deliver that kind of services because we are working as a team lah. Yeah,
That's correct. That's correct. So when we talk to seller at the time, we understand how marketing works.
Yeah.
Property portals will always be there.
Sure.
Number one, we'll always be there on property portals. Number two, we'll always, because we collect data.
Yeah.
And we have a CRM system to continue to help the buyer to find their suitable property. We will blast up to them. And then social media, that's where our strength is.
Yeah.
And we add on a 360 scan to filter the client to make sure that when they see the physical houses, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And lastly is the home tour. I think the
Yes.
home tour, again, is not two option to choose one, right?
Yes.
It's always a value creations
Yeah.
and to find the best way to dispose and unlock the property at the quickest time possible.
Yeah, just curious, right? If let's say today we are going to do a home tour shoot, how long do we take on site to shoot, and how long do we churn out the video, right? I think this is also something important for everyone here to hear, is actually doing all this video content, long form video is not as simple as we think. It's really not just bringing your camera and just go and shoot, but there is preparation to be made, and then shooting day. I think shooting nowadays for like landed house, standard plot 22 by 75, it will also take us about 3 to 4 hours, including drone shots, including all the B-rolls, presenter shoot, and then we will also include, like what you mentioned earlier, is the 360 scan.
That's correct.
So roughly, I think the whole thing will take about 3 to 4 hours. Then moving to post-production. Post-production is the one that is going to take a lot of time, longer time, is because not just they have to edit, they have to find the right music, the subtitles, the graphics, the editing, the finding the best moment. I think all these things probably take about 10 days to produce one video. So I think when we tell sellers, right, some sellers are very kanchong. Hey, today you shoot my video, when can I see the video? And I think we have to make them understand that it's not just the video, it's just not like editing, AI do it for us, but it's really manual work where our team actually put in a lot of their time and effort to give out the best video. So we will always tell sellers in advance that when we launch our marketing, there is always a timeline. The first 14 days what we do, and then after the video is out, then we have to do the reels editing.
That's correct.
Then after that, we will have to distribute and pay ads and whatnot. So I think by giving a very structured marketing strategy, right, I think people appreciate that, right? Because they get to, expect what is next. There's always activity going. And I think this is something that a lot of our clients appreciate from our team, because I think nowadays a lot of agents, because there's so many listings on their hand, it's not that they don't want to update their sellers, it's just they have no time, or they forgot, and then they don't know what's the next activity. And then sellers will be like, I don't know what's the agent doing, Like, I appointed the agent, but after 3 months, I also don't know what's happening.
That's
so
correct.
I think these are the things that we want to avoid as a team, that we hope to, of course, we also have our mistakes where we don't, we forgot to update sometimes, but we try our very best to do a property marketing plan so that even the back-end teammate in our team can remind us, hey, you know what, you forgot to update this seller. Our agent then will go and do it. So
the seller actually really appreciate this kind of updates and how their property is performing on the market right now and what you're trying to do. Actually, they want feedback so that they can work together with you, whether to tweak the properties or to make some adjustment so the property can be transacted.
Correct. What about the 360 scan? Maybe we can talk a little bit about that, because I think we mentioned here and there, but perhaps we can also let our audience know why do we do 360 scan?
Right. Why do we do 360 scans since COVID-19, right?
Correct.
Okay, I remember during COVID-19's lockdown, everyone cannot, view the properties. And I think in Malaysia, we experienced about 2 to 3 times, 4 times lockdown. I think you cannot come out from your house. So what happened is that our company at that time, Redfield Properties, they launched this service about 360 scan. We experienced that. So we get the person to do a 360 scan so that we can show client virtually. So if they cannot come out from their house to see a property, they can see virtually. But then after that, we realized actually we can show the property 24/7. Right? I remember we received leads from property portals or whatever, our social media platform, right? And the client say, hey, I really like these locations and your picture looks renovated and based on your description, it's moved in, you know? They wanted to see the house, but that house is currently owner occupied. And if you want to arrange a viewing, owner is free, but the buyer is not free. Or the buyer is free, the owner is not free. So what happened is that the 360 scan will really help the buyer to visualize, this is the kitchen, this is walkthrough, because pictures will not be able to help you to visualize that way. Assuming that in the picture, you only look at the kitchen area, but you don't know where is it, what is next to the kitchen, how does the layout looks like. So a 360 scan will give this kind of values and to our buyers.
Yeah. So we complement the whole 360 scan with our home tour shoot is because 360 scan ultimately is still a scan without words, without people telling you and explaining the house. So when we complement these two presenter with a home tour shoot together with the floor plan and the visualization of the dollhouse or whatnot, right? Then our buyer really have the fullest picture even before they make an appointment, even before they give us a call to view the property. So by the time when they are genuine, they make a call, they know the price and everything, right? Then we already know that, okay, you know what? This buyer, we only need to sell them the emotion when they view the house. You know, we give them the best sensory experience. We will prep the house before viewing.
Right.
We'll tell the owner, oh, switch on all the air cons, all the lights, so that when the buyer come, then we already know that the possibility of closing it is so much higher than just buyer come and say, why is it on the second floor? How come you never tell me it's on the second floor? You know, why is it no parking and things like that? So it's really, it's a triple win. Win for the buyer, win for the seller, and win for the agent.
Correct.
So I feel that's really the way to go.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So that is very important for a seller to really appoint an agent that not just sell your property, but know how to sell it.
Yeah.
So that really, really important in this case. You know?
Yep. I think, that's about it on this episode where we want to share about really moving away from traditional and giving the best marketing strategies to our sellers to sell their house. Right?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's the end of our episode. So thank you very much for listening, everyone. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.